You know what time it is. It's time to hang out with Mr. Coop. With Mr. Cooper. With Mr. Cooper. With Mr. Cooper. Get the latest scoop. From Mr. Cooper. From Mr. Cooper. From Mr. Cooper. Hang with Mr. Coop. With Mr. Cooper. With Mr. Cooper. With Mr. Cooper. Get the latest scoop. From Mr. Cooper. From Mr. Cooper. Yeah.
Welcome to the Big Scoop with Coop. I'm your host, Coop. Big shout outs to everyone that's listening on Apple Podcasts, Pandora, iHeartRadio, TuneIn Radio, Stitcher, wherever you're listening to. Big shout outs to you. If you want to catch the video version of this show, make sure you go to my website to catch full episodes at thebigscoopwithcoop.com. Also on YouTube at youtube.com/thebigscoopwithcoop. You can also catch a preview of this episode right here on Instagram at Big Scoop with Coop. All right, people, enough about me. Today's guest, this guy is doing big things in the industry. He's also a book author. He's got a book that's out. It's called Letters to My Beginnings. He has a clothing line out. It's called Seven Arrows Clothing Line. You have seen him play the role of Chuck on Amazon Prime Watched. He's been on C.W. Walker. He's played ball also for college. If I keep naming everything this man has done, the show will be over. Ladies and gentlemen, the one and only Draper Wynston. Now, like I said, Draper's doing big things. We're going to kick it with him. We're going to talk about his clothing line. We're going to talk about his shows. We're going to talk about his career and more. So sit back, relax, and enjoy this episode of the Big Scoop with Coop with Draper Wynston.
Cool. Thank you, man. Appreciate it, man. Thank you for having me. And, man, I'm excited to be here. Man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. How's your day going so far?
Man, my day is going well. Can't complain, man. Been absolutely blessed, man. Just amazing, man. No worries at all.
That's what's up. I'm in North Carolina, so I'm enjoying this summer weather. Last night we had a storm, so I'm not sure if North Carolina want to be Wizard of Oz or does it want to be Fresh Prince of Bel-Air in summertime. I don't know what it wants to do, but I'm enjoying this also. Now, Draper, man, like I said, you've been doing big things in your career. Your career is nowhere close to being over. But before we even go there, man, I want to start the first segment of the show, and it's called Have You Heard? Now, did you hear about this? The show that you used to be on, Washed, on Amazon Prime. Did you know it was rated a 4.1 out of 5-star rating? And some people were still waiting for season 3 to drop on that show when that rating was up that high. Did you hear about it?
Absolutely, man. I actually did hear about it. And what's funny is, man, so we have this thing in this saying that we have for wash. We call wash glitter, right? It's just like it just doesn't, you get a piece of glitter stuck on you, man, it just doesn't go away. You take the rest of the day trying to get that off. And so glitter, so we've named washed glitter because, man, people just keep talking about it. They keep talking about it. It just keeps doing, just numbers and reviews and stuff like that. People keep asking us, hey, when are y'all gonna do season 3? Matter of fact, maybe about 3 months ago, somebody asked me, hey, what about Wash? Is Wash coming back with season 3? The director, put something out, was like, hey, Wash may be, rumoring that Wash may be coming back. I was like, hey, as long as we bring Chuck back. He was like, Chuck is a staple. Chuck is in. He said, Chuck is in. Man, so Wash has been amazing ever since I have, been blessed to be a part of that series. But it's like, it's what we call it. We call it glitter, man. And it just keeps sticking around. It keeps sticking around, man. So obviously, man, we've done something right with it. So, man, it could be in the works. I'll say that.
Yeah, that's true. Wash is one of those shows that's, I would say it was, I don't want to say hidden on Amazon Prime, but it was to the point when it came up and you clicked on it, you couldn't turn away. And a lot of people did binge that show. They binged the crap out of that show. And that's what I'm saying. Big shout outs to everybody that's on Wash, man, cast and crew on Wash. Big shout outs to all of you guys. You guys did the thing, and I want to talk it up right now. Season 3, it is going to come. I'm talking it right now. Yes, sir.
I received that, Coop. I received that. Season 3 coming soon.
That's what's up. Now, for the people that's getting introduced to you for the first time, Draper, when did you first realize that you wanted to get into the television and movie industry?
Oh, man. man, I don't want to date myself, but I'm gonna do it anyway. So I'm gonna take it back, man, to actually, man, I first started off in theater. That was when I first got into this, acting thing. And I was like, once I had a taste of the stage, I was like, you know what? This is what I'm gonna do for my career. This is what I'm gonna make a living. I loved it. And I loved it more than what I did in college, which was being a hooper, which we'll talk about later. But which I love more. I mean, I just found myself just really, really, really wanted to put the work in. And so then I had a chance to do my first short film. And man, when I tell you, I loved it. I loved every bit of the process, the rehearsal, the meeting the actors and working with the director. I loved everything about that process. And at that point, man, this was probably about 2008, that I was like, you know what? This is what I want to do. And then as I just progressed, I kind of put TV and film and theater in different, I compartmentalized them. So theater was my training. So theater was what I used to train for TV and film. Because when you're in theater, you got to stay in the moment because there's no cut. But then when you get to TV and film, you just translate being in the moment, being there, being present into those scenes, man. And I've been blessed. I've been blessed. And so that was kind of how I got into it and said, you know what, this is what I'm going to do.
Wow. Now, when you first stepped stage on theater, what was the rating on your nervousness from 1 to 10? Where were you at?
Oh man, I was probably at a level 35. Man, I was like, man, Coop, I was out of this roof, man. I was nervous. Just I remember, and I can remember my first line that I ever said, man, and it came out. My voice was trembling, and my line was, "Are you looking for me? Are you looking for me?" And I was like, "Are you looking for me?" Because I was so nervous. I was so nervous, Coop. And then when I did my first national tour and stage play, man, and I stepped out there, and it's thousands of people, in the seats, and I could feel my hands shaking. I could feel my hands shaking until I said my line. And then after I said my line, it was like, okay, it's game time. Let's go to work, let's go to work. But man, I was at a 35. But now it's like, I still get nervous, man. If I do a stage play, or even if I do a new film, man, after the first line, I settle into it. But that first line, man, I'm always nervous. I'm always nervous. Yeah,
Wow.
it's like it never goes away.
That's crazy. And Draper, I tell people all the time, though, when you're doing theater, it's a different monster than television and movie. You have to realize when you're doing television and movie, behind the camera, you got the crew and you got the cast on stage with you or behind the scenes. Yep. When you on theater, you stepping in front of a live crowd, man, with all eyes on you, man.
Coop, and they're gonna let you know. They're gonna let you know. They're gonna let you know. They're gonna let you know whether you landed that line, whether it's funny, whether it's dramatic. They're gonna let you know in the moment. Yep. They're gonna let you know right then and there. Of course. But that's part of it that you love about it, though. The instant gratification of that I landed this line or I landed this emotion. And I think that was one of the most exhilarating feelings that I had from theater, though.
And I tell people all the time, I don't care if you're doing theater, movie, television, you better have thick skin. Because if you're going to hear it from the producer, director, or the live crowd, if you bombed it, you're going to know. You can't run Forrest Gump on this. You definitely can't.
There's no running. You better figure out how to dig yourself out of it if it don't land, man. You got to dig yourself out of it. And you just got to keep going. You got to keep flowing. Because the good thing about it, though, there's always the next part. There's always the next scene. There's always, that next emotion that you can get to. So if you miss or it doesn't land, you always got another opportunity to land it. But you better make sure that you land it. You better make sure that you land it so that they can forget about what didn't land and they can stick on what did.
You're right. I say it like this also before I go to the next thing. People talk more about car crashes on the road than getting to a safe destination.
Yes, they do.
You better watch out for that. You definitely watch out for that. Now, Draper, did you have any mentors to help you out during your career, even up to now?
Oh, wow. Man, God has blessed me to put me in the path of some amazing people that I've had the chance to work with. And now I can even call them my friend to where we can pick up the phone and call. Man, Dave Hollister is one of them. Man, I had a chance to do a play with Dave maybe about 10 years ago. called Torn Between Two Lives. And man, we just connected, man, and we exchanged numbers, and man, we've been talking ever since. And so he's kind of that guy, he's like a big brother to me. He's like a big brother to me. Man, I've had a chance to meet and talk to Kirk Franklin, so he's become like a brother to me as well. Fred Hammond, had a chance to work with him and get to work with him, talk to him. Terry J. Vaughn, she's like a true mentor to me. Like I'll call her with a bunch of TV and film questions. Hey, what you think about this? What you think about that? Run ideas by her. Man, I've talked to Columbus Short. He's been a huge mentor for me. And man, I've been blessed to have some people in my life, man, that have been in this game. Man, Darren Henson, I actually just got done doing a play with Darren in Atlanta about 2 weeks ago, and like that's my guy. Like we talk, like, man, what you think about this? How you feel about this, man? Congratulations on what you're doing, man. You too, man. I'm proud of you. Like it's one of those things when it comes with me and Darren. And so to be able to have those type of people that are in your corner and doing this journey, man, it's been a blessing. It's made the hard journey a little bit easier.
Wow. Big shout outs to everybody you just named. I mean, your mentor is with about 6 S's behind mentor with another apostrophe S behind it. That's what I'm talking about, man. Ladies and gentlemen, watching worldwide right now. Make sure if you know somebody, network. No, I ain't gonna say know somebody, just network, because you never know who knows somebody. You want to make that circle tight and firm, man. That's what I'm talking about.
But one thing in it though, Coop, though, man, is it was the way it all happened. Like I won't say that I was, when I was working with, I was like, hey, I need to get your number or anything like that. Man, it was really, all of them were organic exchanges. All of them were. They were all organic exchanges. It was just a matter of, we worked, and then it was in between the work, we sitting there, we just laughing, having a good time. Like, hey man, where y'all want to get something? Hey, let's exchange numbers, and then it's like, all right, we talk, we go get something to eat. And then all of a sudden now you're talking about things outside of work, and now they get to know who you are. And so when they get to genuinely see who you are, that you're just not just around them for who they are and what you think they can do for you, and you can bring some value to them too, man, they'll be more willing to call you and be a mentor to you. And because they see that, they only just don't want to be around me because of who I am, what I've done. I want these people to be around me because I'm Draper, and I want to be around them because of who they are. Because you take us outside of the work, man, we just human beings,
Exactly. That's what I'm talking about, because when you got a genuine connection, that's another level right there, man.
Absolutely.
You don't have to talk about work 24/7. It's right there, the communication. That's what I'm talking about. Once again, big shout out to all the S's behind mentor. That's for Draper, man. You doing big things. Thank you for all of y'all, Terry, Kirk, everybody, man, that's been helping Draper out. Continue to stay in this guy's ear because he's doing big things.
Thank you.
Do that. Yes. Now let's talk about. We started talking about it during the Have You Heard scenario. Mm-hmm. Let's talk just a little bit more about Wash. So, how excited were you to receive that role of Chuck on Wash?
Oh man, so man, the way I received that role was it's always a story, and I love when I get asked it, because I love to tell how it happened and how I ended up as Chuck. Initially, I wasn't in season 1, so initially they added these new characters, and Chuck was one of them. Well, they had me read for another role. Matter of fact, they had me read for 2 other roles, and so I read for those 2 other roles, and they was like, "Man, we just don't know where to put you at." And so I was like, "All right, cool. That's fine. I'm fine with it." So maybe about a month later, they called me. They was like, "Hey, we want you in this, but for Chuck, we need somebody like really strong that can, really bring Chuck to life." And they were like, "Are you opposed to it?" I was like, "Nah." I said, send me the script so I can look at it, and then I'll go for it. So they sent me the script. I look at it, and man, I immediately fall in love with Chuck. Man, I fall in love with Chuck, and I fall in love with him because he's outside of who I am, and he was a character that I had never played before. Mm-hmm. And this was also my first time working with the director. Shout out to Jared Couch. And man, when I tell you, it was probably one of the most rewarding and life-changing experiences for me when playing Chuck, because when we got in there, man, when y'all get a chance to watch, if you haven't watched it yet, about a fourth of my lines are improv. Okay, so a fourth of my lines were not in the script. Okay, a fourth of my lines were not in the script, and we would have these takes. Like Jared was like, "Hey, all right, let's do one." So we'll do one, and I'll do it, straight from the script. Straight from the script. Don't ad lib or nothing like that. And so then he'll be like, Couch would say, "Draper, this one's for you. Do one. We got one more. This one's for you." And I would just add something. And so at least most of my scenes, it was the Draper take, which was added to it. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Added to it. Yeah, which is added to it. About a fourth of my lines are improv that I just kind of added to who Chuck was, because he was a Spitfire kind of dude. And so I just added that stuff to it, man, and it fit, and it worked. And that's the thing. It had to fit though, and that was the thing. I just didn't go, way off the storyline. It had to fit to who Chuck was. And man, I was blessed enough that was my first ever single category award that I ever won, was with Chuck. So I will forever be indebted to Chuck. So Chuck was the first one.
Man, and trust me, when you watch, I'm not going to spoil nothing. Ladies and gentlemen, watch the show. You'll see what he's talking. He's not lying. He caught me off guard because I thought those lines was actually written in a lot of stuff that he said. But gosh, okay, you caught me by surprise on that one. That's what I'm talking about. Now, watch this segue I'm about to do real quick, Draper. Okay. Now, you talk about lines. Let's talk about 7 Arrows, clothing line. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. How did this come up, man? How did you actually come with this idea and you ran with it? Let's talk.
Man, the way I came up about it, man, is if you think about, everything I like to do has to have some sort of meaning and some sort of, it means something, some sort of purpose. And so if you think about an arrow is always pointing forward. No matter where you point that arrow at, it's always, whenever you shoot it, it's going to go forward. All right. And it's always pointing forward. Right. And so the number 7, it means the number of completion. And so you put 7 arrows together. The meaning of it is go forward and point forward until it's complete. All right. And so so it's mostly to inspire people to just keep going forward until you complete whatever goal it is that you're trying to accomplish.
Man, how can people find this clothing line? How can they get the clothes?
Just go find it. Search up anywhere 7 Arrows clothing. Search up online, and it'll pop up and it'll come right to you. So, and it's on Instagram too.
Ladies and gentlemen, watching worldwide, make sure you go check out 7 Arrows. Not right now, because you're watching this interview. After this interview, make sure you go look up 7 Arrows. That's one thing you want to get this clothing line inside of the rest of your clothes. If you want completion, you got to get the arrow. Draper's trying to tell you guys, and the secret, man, in his clothes, keep going till you complete your goal that you're trying to do. Make sure you keep going. Get that 7 Arrows, because trust me, I'm going to be buying some myself. That's off top. I'm going to let you know straight up.
Appreciate that, brother.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Now, you also appeared on another show, Draper. Let's talk about this, Walker. Now, on CW. Now, what was it like to be part of that show? And also, what was it like behind the scenes when the camera wasn't rolling?
Oh, man, Walker was another life-changing experience. And Walker was funny because I didn't even realize I had booked it until my agent called me. And she was just like, "Hey, you booked Walker." I was like, "What?" Like, I was just sitting around, and she called me and she was like, "Hey, you booked it." I was like, "What? I turned the audition in 2 weeks ago." She was like, "Oh, you booked it. You're good. I'll call you with details. I'll call you back." So she called me back. I called my wife. I'm yelling, I said, "Babe, I booked Walker. I'm leaving in 3 days." She was like, "You leaving in 3 days?" "Yes, I am." I was like, "Okay." And so the whole experience was just amazing. And for one, to work with, man, a seasoned vet like Jared Padalecki, who's been on Supernatural, was on the CW for 15 years. And I didn't even realize until I got down there, the episode that I was on, Kobe Bell from The Game was in the episode. So I had a chance to meet him, talk to him. Cool guy, man. And that's what's amazing about all these people. So me and Jared became cool. Like he's the one that put me onto the tacos in the city that we was at. So I said, "Hey, man, I want to get some tacos, man. He said, "Cool, man, here, text me." And so we texted, "Hey, I need some tacos." He sends me to this place, amazing tacos. And it was just like, congratulating him when season 3 got picked up. But to work with this guy, man, it was just amazing. And you learn so much from him. um, I actually learned the more how to be natural just on set with those guys and those people, Lindsey Morgan, Kobe Bell, and Jared, and it was just how natural they flowed into their character, man. You would think that that's just who they were, the way they walked around, the way they moved, and it was just, it was amazing and brilliant to see. And so I kind of started implementing that in everything I did after that. But one of the most funny experiences, man, that I had uh, was my first time I ever had a stand-in, right? So it was my first time I ever had a stand-in. So we're sitting in casting in the holding area. We're getting our hair and makeup done. And they say, second unit, go in. So second unit is all of our stand-ins so they can go in and mark the shot. So there's this guy with curly hair and shoulders. He's walking in. And I'm like, man, who's all them people? Who's all that going in there? Who is them? What they doing? And so then they come back to us and say, all right, first unit, y'all go in. So they escort us in and they come on out. And then they whisper them there. They're like, oh, yeah, the stand-ins, they just marked y'all shots. I was like, oh, I had a stand-in. How about that? Look at that. I mean, he had the shoulders. I mean, he had the clothes I had. I said, man, this is a really cool experience. That was the first time I had ever had one. And it was just an amazing experience. And so it's like stuff like that I don't take lightly. I hold to the chest to keep it with my heart. Man, and I'm just grateful for all those opportunities, man. But it was an amazing experience, man. It really was.
So how was the cast behind the scenes also? The main
Man, they just so down to earth, just genuine people, man. And that's and I'm glad that I get a chance to say that. And I'm glad that you asked that question, because a lot of times you may think that these celebrities are like hard to talk to or hard to touch and all that, man. But they weren't, man. They weren't. Background were going in, and they would wave and say, "Hey, can I take a picture?" They would take a picture and all that, man. But these were all, genuinely nice, just down to earth people. Man, we had a great time in Holden, man. When we're hanging out in our dressing rooms and trailers, man, we laughing, we joking, we having a good time. We talk about tacos, we meeting each other's wives and all that, man. It is a really, really cool experience, man. It really is, man. They are just genuine down to earth people.
Wow. That's what I'm talking about. And I don't have to name no names, and you don't neither, Draper, but we know there's certain celebrities in Hollywood that you can't touch with a 10-foot pole because of their ego itself. And you know how that goes down. I've met them, you've met them. And when you get to work with a genuine cast and a genuine crew, it makes your job go by just like that.
It does. It does, man. You don't feel like you're working. You don't feel like you're working. And the bad experiences that I had, it taught me that I didn't want to be that way. I didn't want to be that way. I've been able to walk around some places, and it's a cool feeling, get recognized for your work. And they're like, hey, can I take a picture? Sure, let's take a picture. I never want to be that, and as things progressive and start to escalate, I'm going to continue to keep being that Southern dude, man, that I've been grew up to be,
That's what I'm talking about, man. If you keep that mentality up, Draper, it's going to keep doing this for you, man. Yeah, that's on top. I'm telling you.
Cool.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Now, we got another movie to talk about that you did, man. Let's talk a little bit about Lifetime, man. Secret Beneath the Floorboards, man. Let's talk about this. What is this movie about? And tell us the experience you had being in this movie.
Secrets Beneath the Floorboards, man. It was a great movie. It was a great movie. And it's a different style because it's Lifetime. It's Lifetime, and it's a different feel, it's a different vibe, and whatnot. And it's more dramatic, it's more soft and whatnot. And so I played a detective Hinkle's in there, and I play this hard-nosed, don't play any games detective. And I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it a lot. And the cast was amazing because first time I met everybody, I walk in and I'm walking shoulders and everything. And the first thing I say is, hey, everybody. I say it just like that. Hey, everybody. And so the whole room is just like, hi. It's like, hey, everybody, it's all right. It's cool. Hey, where I need to go get my hair and makeup done, and I'll see y'all on set, So, I lightened up the mood a little bit. But it was what I learned from that set was the seriousness of the craft. That's what I learned from that set was the seriousness of the craft. Man, I saw actresses that it was a scene that we were shooting, and we were just behind the actors that were shooting. So they were going to shoot to the two actors, and they were going to shoot through to us. And so at the beginning of the scene, we're not even being seen. But man, she starts crying because her character is toward the end where they start finding out everything. And I'm questioning her, man, and she starts these tears rolling down. And I'm like, whoa. I was like, and she's not even being seen right now. Like we're dirty in the background. You can't even really see us. You can make out that we're there, but you can't really see us. And she starts crying because I'm questioning her about what's going on. Her friend is, just lost somebody, and she's letting it out. And I'm like, man, now that is what I'm talking about, because the dedication to that, because what you also got to realize is you don't know when the camera is going to come to you. And so by her doing that, I was like, oh, you got to be ready at any point in time with this, at any point in time. And what I loved about this movie was, man, where we shot it. I had never been to Oklahoma. We shot in Oklahoma, and I had never been there, but it was beautiful. It was beautiful where we shot it at, and it was just amazing. And you wouldn't think, these different spots and whatnot, but it was beautiful. And the cast was amazing. Man, another good friend of mine, Colt, he became another good friend of mine. And then that's just how it was. It was cold one night we were filming. And so, we're making jokes up there and all that stuff like that. And this is a serious scene. We're about to do a serious scene. And we're up there making jokes and laughing. We're asking for coffee and blankets and all that. And then the director yells, all right, we're 2 minutes out. Okay, man, we got to get serious. All right, cool. So we'll jump into our serious mode, man, and we'll go deliver. But man, that was another amazing experience. What I love most about that experience too was I was able to bring my family with me. I turned it into a vacation. And so my family came with me the last weekend I was filming, and it was just amazing, for them to be able to be there and see it all happen.
Man, Draper, I'm going to tell you, man, I got to go back to the lady you was talking about that started crying. I'm going to ask you, and you can give a roundabout number on this, and I'm going to give a roundabout number 2.
Okay.
I know I've seen over 20 or 30 movies, TV shows, when a crying scene come on, they'll do this right here. You'll see no tears coming down. They're making the noise. And I'm like, couldn't they edit in some water dropping down their eyes or something? That's a serious crap when you can actually cry. And then some people, they will do the crying scene and only one tear will come down one eye and the other eye dries on or what. But
it's cold.
You talking old girl did? Man.
It's cold, brother. It was cold. It was cold, Coop. It was one of the coldest things I've seen, man. And it was just like, and it was like a delayed cry. It was like this one came, and then she blinked, and then this one came. I was like, oh, you tough. Shout out to Lindsay Hartley. I'll never forget her name. Yeah, Lindsay Hartley. Man, I was like, oh, you are cold. That was cold. It was cold, man. And I was like, oh, she's dedicated, she's trained. And you could just tell, just in that moment, she had this bleached face. I was like, oh, Lindsay, that was tough. And I had to tell, I said, Lindsay, even though you had no lines right there, that was probably some of the strongest acting I have seen with somebody that I have worked with.
Man, big shout out to Lindsay Hartley. Big shout out to her boyfriend or husband, because you don't know when to take this girl serious, because she was start busting out crying on you and she ain't even mad.
She ain't even mad.
Yeah. Lindsay, you got skills, girl. You got skills. That's what I'm talking about. Now, Draper, man, we talked about it earlier. You have put on a lot of different hats, man. From acting, writer, producer, director. Which hat is the hardest hat to wear?
Oh, man, Coop, you got some skills, man. That's a great question. Man, okay. I would say out of everything that I've done, the hardest hat, I would actually say is director. And here's the reason being. As an actor, you're focusing on being that character. Your number one duty is being that character. And then everything else is kind of subtext as to how you fit in there, how you fit into the story, all of that, right? But as the director, you are over the entire vision of what's going to be portrayed for the audience to see, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so when you put it in that perspective, man, that's a heavy weight to carry, because everything is going to fall on how it looks, how the performances are, what are the shots looking like. All of that is going to fall onto that director, because he's the one, or she is the one, that's bringing that vision together for the audience to see. And when you put together a powerful piece, that's why you have an Ava DuVernay. That's why you have a Quentin Tarantino. That's why you have those Spielberg. You have those directors, and Core Jefferson, who just won an Oscar for American Fiction. You have those directors that understand that they are the visionary of the film. And when you have that, you have to worry about a lot of departments. I got to worry about the overall vision of it. How is this camera going to look? You know, you have the people that are doing it. You have the DP that are doing it. Right. But I got to say yes to the final look of this is it. You know, I got to pull these performances out of these actors and actresses that you as an audience member will believe, that you're going to want to ride with these. You're going to want to pick a side. You're going to want to root for them. I have to be the one as a director to bring forth all of that together. And so when you put that type of pressure on yourself to hold, it's like, wow, that's difficult. That's difficult. So shout out to all the directors that live in the directing lane. You know, I'm an actor first. I can direct. I'm an actor first. But shout out to those directors that live in that director lane, because it is so many things that you don't realize that they do. Pre-production, you know, they're spending months with these scripts before you even get to it as an actor.
It's true.
You know, like they're ripping it apart. They're making it their own. They're trying to figure out what's going to work, what's not going to work before they even cast the film. And so that is what I say in my experience of being in this entertainment industry, man. Being a director has been one of the most difficult yet challenging but yet rewarding things that I've done.
Man, ladies and gentlemen is watching worldwide right now. If you're thinking about becoming a movie director, a television director, man, study, research what you're getting into. Because as you heard, Draper, he's an actor first. He can direct, but that hat gets big, man. That hat gets big. And I'm sorry, man. It's hard for 7 arrows to find a hat that big sometimes. So don't ask him for that size of the hat. He can give you advice how to find that hat, but don't ask for that size of the hat. You better research, learn it.
You got to, man, because they think that it's just about saying cut and action and cut and all that, man. It's so much more that goes into it. So please, thank you for saying that. Please do your research on it, please.
That's what I'm talking about. Now, Draper, is there any other projects that you're working on in the future that you want anybody to know about right now?
Oh, man, I got a few releases that's coming out. Got Bid for Love 2 that's coming out with, I mean, you name it, they're in it. Clifton Powell is in it. Clifton Powell, Darren DeWitt Henson. I have a scene with Black China. Angela White is in it. Eva Marcel and so many more. And David Banner. I mean, the list goes on with that film. Then there's a movie that's coming out called Beautiful Struggle that I star in, that I'm the lead in, with T.C. Carson, Rolanda Rochelle, and Ashley Rios. And so that one's coming up. What else I got coming out? Another one called King of Dallas that's coming up. That's coming out. And then House of Vicious on BET is coming out. So look out for that.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Now, Draper, how can everybody catch you on social media to keep up with the latest and greatest of what you're doing?
Absolutely. Y'all can follow me on Instagram at IamD Winston, or just type in Draper Wynston. I'm the one and only, and now everything will pop up. And that's on any platform, Facebook, Twitter, whatever. Type in Draper Wynston and then I'll pop up.
Everybody, make sure you follow Draper, man, because if you want to keep up with these projects he just named that's coming out, he may announce them on social media. You never know. Follow him. Make sure you keep up with everything he's doing. Now, Draper, it's the last segment of the show, man. It's called Take the Floor. You have up to 2 minutes to say whatever you want. No questions asked. Draper Wynston, take the floor.
Listen, so if there's anything that you want to do in life, I don't care what it is, whatever your dream is, whatever your aspirations are, make sure that you have a true support circle and support team that will support the idea of your crazy dream, because not everybody will understand it, but they just need to support the idea of your crazy dream. My wife is amazing. I mean, I couldn't do half the things that I'm doing if it wasn't for her and everything that she does for our family. My parents, my in-laws, man, all my mentors. Find that circle, because they often say that family don't always support you the way that everybody else does. But man, when you have your family as some of your biggest supporters, it makes it so much easier. Man, my little brother, he's one of my biggest love haters. He's like, man, look at you, man, all up there with your shirt off and stuff. Man, but your performance was great. He's gonna find stuff to joke about, but he's gonna tell. He said, man, your performance was great. You know, and really, you have to have, and I say this, and I say this, with my whole heart. You have to have a delusional faith in yourself that you will get to where you need to go at the timing that you're supposed to get there. Okay. We always want to rush to be like, oh, I need to be there now. I need to be there now. You're at the perfect spot as to where you're supposed to be right now with who you are. So in that perfect spot, make the most of what that spot is. And then when it's time for you to go to that next level, you're prepared, you're smarter, you're more knowledgeable, you're ready, because when it's time for you to get to that next level, you don't want to make the mistake so that you take a step down. So enjoy the moments that you're at, live in the moments that you're having right now. Celebrate the moments that you're having right now, because it's so easy to forget where we once came from, that we wanted to be here, and now we're here, and you're like, oh, I want to go more. I want more. Great. You can have more. You will get more. But don't forget that you're living your answered prayers, and you're living your answered prayers. So be grateful, be thankful for living your answered prayers, and then prepare yourself for your next level.
That's what I'm talking about right now. Ladies and gentlemen, you better rewind this and listen to this again. Make sure you do that, because that even touched me. That's confirmation for myself also. Man,
Absolutely,
listen, I wanted to thank you for coming on the show, and I would love to have you back on in the future.
Absolutely, man. Shout out to my publicist, Cheryl, man. She's doing a fantastic job, man. I love everything she's doing for me and my group, man. My agent, Jill, with Exclusive Arts Agent, my manager, man, Gina, man. They are just amazing people to have on my team, man. And I'm thankful for them. I'll tell you, they'll ask each and every one of them. I tell them thank you, and I'm thankful for them at least 15 times a month. I tell them all the time. I'm so thankful for y'all. Thank you. I appreciate it. But Coop, I thank you, man. You got an amazing show. You got an amazing platform, man. I'm honored to be able to come on here, man, and speak on your platform. And I would love to come back anytime, brother.
Thank you. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, next time on the Big Scoop with Coop, my next guest is, you know I don't announce my next guest. You better follow me on social media at Big Scoop with Coop to find out the latest and greatest. Until next time, people, on the Big Scoop with Coop. Peace.